Hmm. Hi, everybody. This is Christina. How are you? Welcome to Spirit and Spark TV. Great to have you here. For those of you that don't know me, I am Christina Woods here on Spirit and Spark TV, and I am the CEO and founder of Wise Woods Hypnotherapy and Coaching. And I'm a licensed RTT therapist, which is a method of hypnotherapy. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and Reiki master. And I see women primarily who are struggling with confidence, imposter syndrome, struggling with really just feeling stepping into their power and embracing who they are and getting past all of that so that they can really just live the life that they want to be and be empowered and grab that raise or that relationship or whatever it is that they want. But today we are here to talk about self-sabotage, something we've probably all dipped our toes in, haven't we? I know that I have. I could talk about all of these at some point here. So what I want to do is, from a hypnotherapy standpoint, is I want to talk about self-sabotage in terms of you understanding how your mind works so that you have a better understanding from the perspective of, gosh, if I understand how my mind works, then maybe I can get in there and undo some of these self-sabotaging behaviors and have a different perspective and come at them from a different angle and have some self-compassion. Because when I talk about self-sabotage, what I really want you to leave with is so much more kindness for yourself, patience for yourself, and love for yourself. So first, when we talk about self-sabotage, I want to list some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that we all have. Um, and again, I think I can check off the list here on all of these. And if you've got any comments, please list them here. I got a couple here of people that are going to watch the replay. So I'm really happy to hear that. Looks like some people have some meetings and some things that have come up during this time. So I'm glad that you'll be watching later, Ellen, after your meeting. That's perfect. So if you can't watch now, I'm glad that you'll catch the replay. That's great. Let me know your thoughts. If you've got any feedback or if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and I will answer your questions. So self-sabotage. This can look like a lot of different things. And if you don't think you have any self-sabotaging behaviors, you might want to think again, because it's only natural. You're only human. And sometimes it can come in maybe not a blatant self-sabotage the way we sometimes from the outside looking in can look at a friend or a family member and say, oh yeah, that's very self-sabotaging. But we can, when we look at ourselves, it's a little harder to identify. But one self-sabotaging behavior that I work with the clients on quite often is just procrastination, because that's a self-sabotaging behavior. Time management, being really disorganized, sometimes taking on too much, or just waiting until the very, very last minute so that we're just really, really stressed out and staying up all night to meet a deadline or get a report in, or if it's work related or personal related. But procrastination is, hey there from SoCal. I'm in SoCal too. But avoiding procrastination, just avoiding your dreams, putting things off, avoiding what you truly, really want to do or what you need to get done. And we'll talk about what that's about. Right now, I just want to list some of these self-sabotaging behaviors. The other one is sleep. A lot of times people will put off going to bed at the hour they know they should go to bed because they've got to wake up for work at a certain time. And yet they can't get their bodies to go to bed, or they're really restless. So, or they just avoid sleep. Or they toss and turn and have really, really restless sleep. And we don't always think of that as a self-sabotaging behavior, because if you have restless sleep, it's not like you don't want to sleep. You really want to sleep, but our mind can sometimes play these games with us. Relationships, those are ones that we definitely can sometimes easily identify in others and maybe in ourselves. I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, why do I keep dating these jerks or people that are not good for me? Why does this keep happening? Or why am I keep bringing in narcissists into my life? life, or people that are emotionally unavailable. And so it's great that they're recognizing these patterns, but pushing people away can be a self-sabotaging behavior. When we start to feel love and a connection, sometimes we can notice that we're saying, "Uh-oh, no, I don't like that. That might feel a little bit too intimate." Um, let's see, other things about relationships. Well, when it comes to health and choices, we might sometimes will see self-sabotaging behavior when it comes to weight and food and exercise. That's a big one. Why am I eating this when I know I shouldn't eat this? Why don't I exercise? I feel lazy. Many times lately with COVID, we've gotten to this habit of staying indoors or watching Netflix and not getting outside as much. And now it's just become familiar, versus maybe after work, we used to go work out, or before work. And now that is the unfamiliar. So we have maybe poor health choices, or we make poor choices, eating habits, not taking care of ourselves can be a form of self-sabotage. Even saying yes too often is a form of self-sabotage. People pleasing is self-sabotage. Being Hercules, being too busy. I was absolutely guilty of that. And it's one I need to watch all the time. Saying yes to everything, being super mom or being super dad or whoever, if you're a people pleaser, we feel like, oh, but I'm just being nice. Well, you burn the candle at both ends, and guess what happens? Your health is at risk. Your patience is at risk. Lots of things are at risk. It's very self-sabotaging. Sometimes we are overachievers and just we're working because we just got to keep getting success and promotions and make more money. That can be self-sabotage. Of course, addictions are self-sabotage. Alcohol, drugs, any form of addiction, those things are self-sabotaging. Money, different beliefs we have about money can be self-sabotaging. How we spend money. Do we spend money? Not ever spending money can be self-sabotaging. Believing that, I can't buy that because I'll never have it again. Or the belief that I'll never earn enough can be self-sabotaging. So that's just a little bit of a laundry list. We could probably go on and on, but I just wanted to throw some out there. There are more, but and if you have them, please go ahead and list them. I love to hear, what are your self-sabotaging beliefs or behaviors? What do you want to get rid of that you think is a self-sabotaging belief and action that is in your life right now that you want to get rid of? Why do you think you have it? Why is it there? How long has it been there? Kind of close your eyes and kind of think about it. Or maybe you don't even need to think that hard. Maybe it's quite obvious what it is in your life. And sometimes identifying it is one thing, and then how do I get rid of it is another. But sometimes we're not even aware until we need to take the time and say, gosh, I do that. Is that really bringing me joy? Or is that really a benefit to me? Or is that creating more stress? So what I want to do now is I want to get into the way that your mind works and help you understand how your mind works and why some of these self-sabotaging beliefs come into our life in the first place, come into our mind in the first place, and how you can change them, how you have the power to change these self-sabotaging beliefs and get your mind to work for you. How does that sound? So any thoughts, questions? I don't see anything in the chat. Let me know where you're from. I am in sunny Southern California. Some of you already know that. It is a beautiful blue sky out there. Looks a little windy, a little crisp out there, but for the most part, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm in Huntington Beach. Let me know where you're at. I was just in Vegas earlier in the week for Valentine's. I know many of the Spirit and Spark community is in Vegas. So shout out to everybody that's out in the Vegas area. It was beautiful, but it got a little chilly out there too. So a couple things I want to tell you here. We got about 5 things that will help you understand your mind. One is your mind really responds to the pictures and the words that you create in your mind. All right. And this isn't the first time you've heard me say this if you've listened to me before, but I'm going to keep saying it because hopefully you'll really start to pay attention to the pictures and the words that you use. So let me give you an example. I'm your mind, and I'm always going to do what you want, what I want, what, excuse me, I'm your mind, and I've always got to do what you want. Okay. So your mind does exactly what you want it to do. So I'm your mind, and I've got to do exactly what you want. So if you're saying to your mind, oh my gosh, I cannot stand this commute, it is killing me. This commute is draining the life, it is sucking the life out of me on a daily basis. I don't know how I can do this for one more minute. Um, and my kids are just killing me. They're like, the sound of that is like nails on a chalkboard. If I can't stand it when my husband or my wife leaves their clothes on the floor. It's killing me. It's just too much. I'm so overstressed. I can't do this anymore. I can't stand it when my boss asks me to take on his work, and then he takes the credit, or she takes the credit, or I don't get paid enough for this. Your mind absolutely is in charge of doing what you want it to do. So when you're saying, I can't stand this for one more minute, I don't like that, I don't want that, well, then your mind will say, okay, you can't stand that, you don't want that, you got it. I'm going to give you a big fat ulcer so you can lay in bed here for a while, and you don't have to go deal with that boss that tells you everything that you don't like and has to pile on the extra work. I'm going to give you a flu for a week, and you don't have to hear your kids screaming and doing this and that. Or you hate that commute so much. Well, then you know what? Let's just, give you something that makes you have to put your feet up for a while so you don't have to get in the car and do that commute. Your mind's job is to listen to everything you say, every word you say, and the pictures you put in your mind. That's it. It doesn't matter if those pictures are good or bad, right or wrong, true or false. It doesn't matter. It's literally going to say, okay, that's my job. I'm going to follow through with everything you say. All right. So let's see what some of the comments here are. Definitely find some resistance when I'm sitting down to actually write something for my website. All right. I get that. Absolutely. Procrastination. So, when our mind says, uh-oh, I don't know if I want to be seen. I don't know. That sounds like that might be scary. I don't know if I want to be seen. I don't know if there's a fear of success. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know what people might say. There's a couple things. There's usually about 3 or 4 issues that we all sort of fall under. One is, am I good enough? So that could be, am I smart enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I rich enough? Am I interesting enough? Anything enough? Okay. Am I just enough? Are people going to think I'm enough? Am I enough? Am I, educated enough? We could go on and on about it. Am I a good enough parent? Am I going to be rejected? Or am I going to connect? Because we all have a primal need to connect. So am I going to be rejected? Nobody wants to be rejected. All right. And we'll talk about that even more today. So no matter what, nobody wants to be rejected. So you're pretty normal with resistance to putting something out there and possibly being rejected, because we know that somebody will probably not agree with what we say, what we do. And so being rejected is a big one. The other one is that many of us believe that something isn't available to us. So what I mean by that is perhaps love isn't available to us. Money isn't available to us. Being healthy and thin and having that body that I want, that just isn't available to me. Other people get that. Other people have that money. Other people have that success. Other people have good marriages. Other people have happy this or that, or other people get that, but that's not me. It's not available to me. I want it, but it's not available to me. That's a belief. So Usually we kind of can identify with one of those. I don't know if any of that. Yes, somebody said yes to all of that. Yes, all of that, Catherine says. Yes to Vegas. There's lots of Spirit and Spark people out there in Vegas. Um, so, there's a lot of things that we can connect with here because we're people, and we all have flaws, and that's the beauty in it, is that we're all flawed people living in a flawed world. So the first thing we can do is, when we think about self-sabotage, is to know that nobody's perfect. In fact, perfection is quite boring. I don't know about you, but when I'm walking down the beach, or when I was in Vegas earlier this week, I just found people watching is just so fascinating. And I absolutely just found so much joy when I found people that were so happy in their own body, walking and just feeling excited and lovely and just being who they are, versus the person walking down the beach or walking down the Vegas Strip or wherever I am, trying to be perfect. That just looks really uncomfortable. It looks uncomfortable. It's not real. They don't look like they love themselves. They look like they're trying to get something from somewhere else. So perfection is really not that interesting if you think about it. So we're always trying to go get it, but it really doesn't exist. So we're all flawed, and that's just the way it goes. And so true, absolutely. And we're all trying to do our best, and so that's why we need to give ourselves so much grace and patience and kindness when we're dealing with self-sabotage. So when we say to our mind, when we get back to this, change the pictures and the words that we have in our mind, when we say to ourselves, you know what, I'm having a bad day, I'm upset today, but I'm going to get over it. I need a good weekend to rest. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to take a walk in the park. I'm going to shake this off, and I'm going to get through it. That's what your mind needs to hear. So you don't need to tell yourself, I'm perfect. My boss doesn't bug me. I love it when my spouse leaves his junk all over the floor, or she leaves the dishes in the sink, or love it when my kids scream. We don't need to say that. But what we can say is, you know what? I'm a little irritated right now. I need to go to a yoga class, and I'm going to do that on Saturday. I can't do it until Saturday, but at 9 o'clock on Saturday, I'm going to give myself a break, and it's going to make me feel so much better. And that's what I'm going to give. That's the gift that I'm going to give myself. Or every morning, I'm going to wake up 10 minutes early, and I'm going to take some deep breaths and meditate and pet my dog and drink a cup of coffee. And that's going to give me some peace and keep me centered before I go and take that commute every day. Or I'm going to listen to something, that calms me on the commute. So what are you saying to yourself that can change? And that really can make a big difference. So, a couple things here. I'm looking at my notes, and of course I can't find my notes here. I don't want to miss anything good, and then I can't find it here. But your mind's job is to do the one thing based on the pictures and the words that you use. And so when you do that one thing, it really changes everything. And just speak to yourself differently. Speak to yourself in a way that is worthy of the way you would speak to a friend. I need a break. I need to recharge. If your friend were to come in upset and say those things that I was saying earlier about the boss and the commute, and they're pulling your hair out, what would you say to them? You would say, you know what, just sit down, let me give you a cup of tea, or let's go for a walk, or let's go out and have some dinner, or let's just talk on the phone. We're across the country. Let's talk on the phone. And you know what? You're a little bit stressed. You have every right to be stressed. You have a stressful life right now. But tomorrow is a different day. You're going to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow's a different day, and you're going to brush it off, and you're going to keep going, because you are resilient. You are amazing. You are incredible. You have incredible willpower. You have incredible ability to keep going. Those things fill you up. Okay, so change the words to positive words. So think about it. If I'm to say to myself, I feel lazy, no, I feel energized. which one sounds better? I'm depressed. No, I'm inspired. I'm fat. I'm fat and lazy. I'm eating potato chips on my couch. Or, you know what? I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling energetic. My metabolism is really feeling alive. It's feeling like it's moving. It's amazing. Maybe if I'm shy and I'm introverted, you know what? Yeah, I'm shy, but I'm getting out there. I'm finding new ways to meet people, ways that make me feel comfortable, but I'm finding new ways to make connections with people. So that's something different that you can tell yourself. Here's another new way that your mind works, that you can help work with your mind, which is you are hardwired and super coded. Okay. You are hardwired and super coded to run away from what is unfamiliar and to run right back to what is familiar. Okay. So think about it. You're going to run away from what's unfamiliar and run right back to what's familiar. So if you think about it, 500 years ago, when we were living in small villages or tribes or communities, we didn't just wander off and go, hey guys, I'm really bored of this little tribe, of this little fort here in this small Western town here. I'm bored of you guys. I'm going to wander off. We didn't do that because it wasn't safe. We needed our community. We needed this because it was familiar. What kept us safe was same old, same old. Now, what keeps us safe is not same old, same old. We still have that primitive mind. We still have that primitive belief. And so we need to know and remind ourselves that actually rejection now doesn't mean we're going to die. Rejection now might mean discomfort for a little bit, but it's okay. Moseying out of the tribe and doing something different and something unfamiliar doesn't mean that a tiger is going to chase us anymore. So our primitive mind understands this. And so we just have to make something new familiar. So think about it. If any of you have ever had children, and you know that you go to give a child something new to eat, a 2-year-old something new to eat, and they go, I don't want that. That has, that's a different color, or that has lumps in it. Or I don't want that spoon. I want the other spoon. I don't want that cup. I want my favorite cup. They want what's familiar. I want the same story every night. I want the same teddy bear. I want the same, because that's familiar. Okay, so that's safe. It's familiar. Their mind feels comfortable with it. To introduce new things to a child, sometimes it takes a while. We have to show them a little bit. We have to give them a little bit of taste. We have to taste it for them because their primitive mind is literally learning the same thing. So just fast forward 25 years, 50 years, and here we are. We're not liking things that are unfamiliar either. And so self-sabotage can be reversed by making things that are healthier for us, that are good for us, familiar. All right. So how do you do this? Well, we do this a couple ways. How do you overcome it? Knowledge is power. So making some of these bad habits or some of these things, making those things unfamiliar and making good things familiar. So for example, if we've had our heart broken quite often in relationships, and we say, I'm not doing that again. That sucked. I don't want to get my heart broken again. Or I just keep dating people that hurt me, or they don't call me back after a while. Why would I do that again? We have to just remember that that's what's the familiar, and so we begin to believe that that's what we expect. Okay. Or every job I've chosen doesn't work out. So that's what we tell our mind. Every job I have doesn't work out. They overwork me. I'm underpaid. I never get paid for what I'm worth. So your mind creates a blueprint. For every thought you think, your mind creates a blueprint. All right. So just know every thought you think, you're creating the blueprint. And then all your actions out there in your life are supporting that blueprint. So what blueprint do you want? Do you want that blueprint that says every job you have, you don't get paid for what you're worth? Or do you want the blueprint that says, oh, absolutely. Not only do I get paid for what I'm worth, I get absolutely acknowledged because I am amazing. I get promotions. I get praise. I absorb the praise. I accept the praise. Because so often what happens is we turn down praise. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what do you do when you get praise? how do you accept praise? What do you do with praise? Do you reject it when someone says, oh my gosh, I heard that you are a wonderful salesperson? Oh, no, 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 no. That was just a good month. I don't really, nah, that was just luck. I just got that one big account. I don't really do that well. Let it in, let it in. Really work yourself and train yourself to accept praise and let it in. Your mind responds to the words that you use. So cringe, I know, is that someone said cringe. Accepting praise is so difficult. I know that. So, um, you know, we need to make new things familiar and the things we don't want unfamiliar. And that's how you overcome that. So we have this fear of rejection. So procrastination is very much a fear of rejection. I was the queen of procrastination, and it's still one of those things that creeps up for me every now and again. And procrastination can be a big time fear of rejection, even if it can be lack of self-love, perfectionism, a belief that I'm not enough, I need to be perfect. And if I'm not perfect, I shouldn't put it out there. So I'm just going to wait, not put it out there till it's perfect. And so getting past those things and knowing that there's no such thing as perfection, and you're perfectly good enough just as you are. You don't need to change a darn thing. That can help you get, and saying those things to yourself every day, over and over and over. I'm good just as I am. There's no such thing as perfection. I don't need to change anything. So this fear of rejection, it wasn't, again, that long ago that if we trailed off of that, away from that tribe or away from that fort or wherever, that it was actually quite dangerous for us. So our hearts and our minds still have that primitive belief that our heart will be broken if we move on, if we enter that relationship again, because the last couple of relationships that we were in, our heart was broken. And I'm guessing, my heart's been broken before too. And I'm guessing many of your hearts have been broken before too. But you learn from those things and you move on. And those things actually can help you have such incredible experiences in life, right? You learn from those. And, those things, that the best things that ever happened to you are those things that teach you and get you to where you are now. I know that, gosh, that relationship that I thought I had that ended, I thought, oh my gosh, I'll never have a relationship like that again. And now I have a better relationship than I had, that I never thought was possible, because you have faith and you move on. And so you get past that fear of rejection, and you allow yourself to just, all right, open up and move on. Somebody has a question here. How about that fear of success? It's hard for me to understand. Yeah. So fear of success, it can be a few different things. I love that question. Let me put it up here because it's one that a lot of people have. So it can actually be a fear of rejection. So a lot of actors, a lot of people just not wanting to put themselves out there. So what is it, asking yourself, what is it that you're afraid of? If I do put myself out there, what am I afraid will happen? And then what am I afraid will happen if that happens? And then what am I afraid will happen if that happens? That will kind of help you get to the root of things. Obviously, I work with clients how to deal with that and unpack that, because we have many beliefs in our subconscious mind versus our conscious mind. And our subconscious mind is what's calling the shots and what's ruling things. It's the tape recorder that's running the programs of all of our actions and all of our beliefs. So fear of success can come from a belief that, well, I'm not good enough, so don't go out there and do anything because I'm not good enough. It also could be that success isn't available to me. Perhaps in your life, and I don't know anything about your life, so I'm just throwing things out here. It could be that in your life, in your experience, people did not achieve great success. They worked very, very hard for every penny they earned, and they didn't have great success, so they just didn't achieve those things. I know in the way I was raised was, you work hard for every penny, you save it. And if you lose that job, oh no, it might be the end of the world because you might not get another one. And so I had that fear growing up for many, many years of my corporate life. I thought, oh my gosh, if I lose this, I'm going to lose everything. I will never find another one. Of course, it wasn't true. It was a belief, but it really wore me down because I believed that my worth was attached to that job, and my success was only because I had that job and had nothing to do with the value that I brought to the job, because that was the belief that I was raised with, believe it or not. Because I believed that success was not available to me. No one in my family had that kind of success. Wasn't raised with a lot of money, so I just sort of thought people like me didn't get that kind of success. Other people did. That might not be your belief, but that's a common one. The I'm not enough belief is a big one. The I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, I need to be a little bit better. I'm not, I don't know if any of these things, let me know if any of these things connect with you. I don't belong. Imposter syndrome is a huge one. Fear of success, imposter syndrome. Who am I to go out there and do this? So many other people know how to do this better than I am. That can self-sabotage us quite a bit because we believe that so many other people know how to do something better. Nobody does something like you. We all have something special to offer. Nobody does this like me. Nobody does what you do like you. The universe brought each and every one of us here for a reason, and everyone is unique in their own unique, special, beautiful, beautiful way. And so how we express ourselves is why we're here. And so just remember that and find your own expression. Let's see. So let me know if any of those things resonate with you. I want to ask you this. Here's another self-sabotaging belief, or something that can self-sabotage us. I will say, I'll rephrase that. We tell ourselves lies and then we believe them. So I want to ask you, what are the lies that you're telling yourself? All right. So a lie would be, this is killing me. All right. I'm dying over this. I am just this big fat pig. All I do is eat, and then I'm so tired, and I lay in bed, and I don't exercise, and only motivated, nice, good people exercise. I must be a schmuck because I don't. Good moms, take their kids to the park on weekends, and I'm so tired I don't do that, so I'm terrible. These are lies. All right, these are lies. So what other lies do you guys tell yourself? We all tell ourselves a bunch of lies. All right. There's a great book that my mentor and my teacher, Marissa Peer, who created RTT Hypnotherapy, just wrote. It just came out last month, called Tell Yourself a Better Lie. I highly, highly recommend it. But it's all about this. We just tell ourselves lies. So if you're going to tell yourself a lie, tell yourself a better lie. Yeah, procrastination, Barbarella, yes, is a huge one. I'm not creative. Yes, that is a lie. So let it in. What is this lie? If you're going to tell yourself a lie, tell yourself a better one, because these are just beliefs, people. They're just beliefs. All right. So listen to yourself. I want you to listen to yourself. I want you to listen to that dialogue you're having, and the words that come after I am. All right. That's your belief. So I am what? I am creative. I am I am love. I am outgoing. I am what? What are you? I am a nice person. I am energetic. I am friendly. I am loving. I am kind. I am someone who sticks to a budget. I am a hard worker. I am a good friend. I'm a good pet owner. There's all kinds of cool things that I know that you are. So the words that follow I am are really the words that your mind follows. Your mind follows the words and the pictures. That's the most powerful thing you could do for yourself. So here is a solution. Let it in. All right. Praise yourself. You must take a minute to free yourself of these self-sabotaging thoughts, these self-sabotaging beliefs from imposter syndrome. What do you need to hear on a daily basis? Maybe on an hourly basis? What do you need to hear? Do you need to hear that I have great communication skills? I'm a great seller. I'm great in sales. Maybe that's your job. And that's just a tough one for you. I'm dynamic. I'm warm. I'm an incredible mother. Oh, this is one I can relate to that someone just said. I'm not a good mom because I work full time now and I can't stay with them. Like you have for 16 years. Boy, do I understand that one. And I am here to tell you, yes, you are a good mom. Your children are watching you do what you love. And what a beautiful, incredible gift that is to do what you love and to support them. And you are able to balance. And so you tell yourself every day, I am able to balance. I am able to fill my cup up with what I love. And the reality is that I have to support my family. That's a reality. That's a perfectly fine reality. I'm able to support my family and fill my cup up. Once my cup's full, I can pour that cup in, fill up everybody else's cup. And so you say these things to yourself every single day. Do not say, I'm not a good mom because blah, blah, blah. So what do you need to hear to yourself? And I know that one because I was a working mother, and boy, oh boy, did I have that guilt. That I wasn't, the stay-at-home mom, like when I dropped my kids off and I saw the other moms, and I just had this overwhelming sense that I was doing damage. And if I was really loving, I would have found a way to, make the budget work. And the reality was my kids have learned wonderful skills by watching me work and watching me juggle. And sure, there are things that I didn't do right. And sure, there are things that I probably was too stressed out sometimes and came home, and that's okay. I'm not perfect. And it's never too late to go back and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't do that right. And I have done that. And they learn from that, because guess what? There's going to be times in their life they're not going to do things right either. And what an incredible way to teach them to say, you know what? You can go back 5 years later and say you're sorry. You can go back when you learn a lesson and say, hey, I didn't do that right. I can do that. I didn't do that right, and I'm sorry. So what's the name of that book again? Tell Yourself a Better Lie by Marissa Peer, Peer. It's incredible. It's not too big. It's on Audible as well. It's really, really great. So the last thing I want to leave you with here is when you instruct your mind with powerful words, like you've been hearing me say, and you flip that blueprint, all right? You're like that architect of your mind. You are creating the blueprint, and all your actions are following the blueprint that you give your mind. You give your mind the blueprint by the pictures and the words that you give your mind. And so all your actions, all your behavior, your life is orchestrated by the blueprint that you create. So to flip the blueprint to one that is positive, that is not self-sabotaging, that is orchestrating the life that you want, all right? Practice gratitude. That's another one. Gratitude. Someone in the world, remember, is looking at your life right now and saying, that is my fantasy. All right. That is my fantasy. I absolutely wish that I had a job and worked for my children right now. That is my fantasy. All right. That is my fantasy, that I had a long commute to work. You have a car. I don't have a car. You have a job. I don't have a job. We're complaining about the chores we maybe have to do around our house. That's someone's fantasy to have a home. So your life is someone's fantasy out there. That's the way it goes. So just practice gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. You know, that baby that kept us all kept you up late last night is someone's fantasy. All those things made it before you were finished. Oh, good. Thank you. That's great to have you here. So I want to go back real quick before I get off to some of these things that I listed. We went through some of them here. So procrastination, like I said, can be about it could be a lot of things, but it can be about lack of self-love, perfectionism, fear of rejection, not being good enough, fear of achieving or fear of success, that's not being available to me. I don't want to do this thing because if I do it, then I have to accept that success at the end might not be available to me, or I don't want to be seen. All right. Love relationships can definitely be about fear of rejection. Obviously, the opposite of rejection is connection. So we all need it. We all need it. Every human being walking the earth needs connection. So that fear of rejection is real. But we also many people have a belief that love is not available, or that we're not good enough. Have a self-love mantra. The longest relationship you will ever be in is with yourself. So what would you say to someone if you had the love of your life, or maybe you do have the love of your life? What would you want to hear from the love of your life? What are the words you'd want to hear? I love being around you. You are so beautiful to look at. You are so handsome. You're so interesting to talk to. I love listening to you. I just love being with you. I love hanging out with you. I want you to say all of those things to yourself every single day. Okay. Love the gratitude practices. Great. You say 3 before getting out of bed every morning. Start the day in an attitude of gratitude. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful practice. Put your hand on your heart. I do the same thing. I love that. Poor health choices. Health choices, the self-sabotage can be about sometimes we are putting on weight for protection. Sometimes it's punishment. Sometimes we're not good enough. Sometimes we believe that food can sometimes be filling us up in replace of something else that we're missing in our lives. Every habit of action is followed by a habit every habit of action is run by a habit of thought. So we have to find out what the thought is. It's sort of the reason why diets don't work. We all know, we shouldn't eat a chocolate cake every day or whatever it is, a bag of chips or whatever. If diets work, there'd only be one, and then we would just follow that one, and the whole world would be, the perfect size and weight. Weight is not about food. It's not logical. It's an emotional issue. Just like money and spending is not about following, this logical budget. So weight is about really finding out what is the emotional, what's the thought behind it. So is it about fear of rejection or feeling love isn't available? Sometimes it can be replacing a feeling of happiness, but it often can be about a punishment as well. I work with clients on that, but that can be a little bit more deep, but it's very easy to rectify and work. I work with a lot of clients on that one. Overcommitting, people pleasers. Boy, I have a lot of clients. I am I'm post people pleaser. Used to be one. Professional people pleaser is what I used to call myself. And so overcommitting sometimes can be a way of keeping ourselves safe, because we are in control then. And so if we're doing everything, we're in control, nobody else is doing it. And we can't control what's inside. So we want to kind of control everything on the outside. We also sometimes can feel like we're not worthy. So we're trying to gain these things outside to help us feel better on the inside. It could be a few different things. So let's see here. Self-sabotage, necessary work tasks that I do not want to do, accepting every day, and any line cutting interruption or other tasks so that I do not need to face it. Yeah. Self-sabotaging can be allowing yourself to get easily distracted. like the next shiny object. Like, oh, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. Procrastination or not wanting to do what you're supposed to do. Absolutely. So success, addictions, addictions are typically about the lack of connection. Most drinking and drugs and those clients, that's obviously a deep form of self-sabotage. Money and spending habits, earning money, a lot of that has to do with oh, it could be a lot of things, but a lot of it is that's not available to me. Other people earn money. The belief, my self-sabotaging behavior that some of you might believe might relate to was that mine was I earned it, but I spent it. And I don't have this belief anymore, but I used to. Even when I made a lot of money, I would spend it because my belief was that it wouldn't be there anymore. Because when I was raised, we had to spend everything my mother earned because we kind of were literally paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. So that was my belief. Like, better spend it because it might not be there again. And that was literally a belief. I won't get it again. Better use this now or else. And so I really had to stop and say, why am I doing this? This is strange. No matter what I make, I keep doing this. And so the self-awareness, this was very self-sabotaging. I had to realize, that's just a belief. That isn't the truth. So, what lie was I telling myself? That was a lie I was telling myself. And I had to change the belief at a subconscious level. Not until I did that, did the actions change. And now I don't do anything like that. Okay. But there's a lot of different stories. What story are you telling yourself? Some people tell themselves a story that good people don't earn money. I'm a healer, so I can't earn money. Only bad rich people with no morals earn money. That is obviously a belief because that's not true. So anyways, we are over on time here. I loved being with you. And I hope you got something out of this. Self-sabotage is part of being human. And don't beat yourself up for having self-sabotaging behaviors, but also understand that you don't have to live with these things. They can be they can shrink and then they can be managed, and they could be at the point where they really are these insignificant things, that little blips in the road that don't that don't take over your life, that aren't these huge pieces in your life. Because I've been there before, and I can relate and understand when self-sabotaging behavior is the biggie in the room always. And there's not enough room in life for those things, frankly. So I hope you got something out of this. If anyone wants to reach out to me or work with me or just chat with me about hypnotherapy and the subconscious mind, I would love to do that. You can book a 45-minute or less. If you want to just chat for less, that's fine too. Free exploratory call with me at book.wisewoods.com. That's book.wisewoods.com. And you can just book a call with me and we can chat and I can tell you more about this. If anyone wants to email me, it's Christina@wisewoods.com. And it's so great. I'm so grateful that you were all here. And if anyone watches the replay and has any questions, just shoot me an email. And I look forward to chatting with all of you again. Thank you so much for the Spirit and Spark community and for Delisa having me on this YouTube show. I appreciate it so much. And take care, everybody. Bye-bye.